Hello, Mum. It's George Parrish. Sorry to ring you at home, but there's a lady at the counter asking to see you. She says she knows you. Says her name's Joan. Well, she's 25-ish, smart, good-looking. Oh, she says she's Derek's girl. Yes, ma'am, I'll tell her. Yeah, I'll fix it. Well, I've spoken to the inspector. She says she'll be along in a couple of minutes. Would you like a cup of tea while you're waiting?
Very nice. Yes, please. No sugar, thank you. Doesn't seem very busy.
Oh, it gets pretty busy sometimes, you know, Fridays and Saturday nights. I'll get a brew, Sarge.
You're a friend of the inspector?
You could say that.
Through the job?
In a way.
Hers or yours?
Both.
I see.
That's the deal, love. I'm being straight with you.
I don't know anything.
Give it me again.
Well, they came round for Derek. Said they wanted him for this job. A safe blowing it is, a big one, a first shop in the city centre.
And?
Derek said he wasn't interested, but they kept on at him.
Why Derek?
Well, they need someone who's good with jelly. They're in a rush. It's got to be soon. Can you help me, please? If Derek gets sent down again, we're finished, him and me. I love him, Kate.
It's the old team.
Just the same. Jimmy Stanley, Albert Rogers, and that animal, Fred Cooper.
Derek's old mates.
Well, not now, they're not. He doesn't want to know.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. We've cleared out of the flat to get away from them, but they'll find us just the same. I need help, Kate. Remember what you said?
I remember, love. I owe you. I'll help you, but I want something out of it. I'll do what I can for you and Derek, but I want bodies. I want a lock-up out of it. Welcome to the thriving metropolis of Hartley.
Kate.
Ryan,
Okay.
grab a chair. Joe, can you rustle up a brew for our visitors, please? Oh, not the best, China. They have been known to break things.
Well, I must say, you look very smart in that uniform, doesn't you, Brian?
Cracking.
If you're going to be schneid, I won't tell you what I've got for you.
Cooper, Rogers, and Jimmy Stanley on a plate, you said on the phone. Oh, you couldn't keep quiet about that, Kate. I know you better. Come on, what have you got?
Well, I've not got too much, really. They're planning a big job which involves a safe blowing. It's a Fourier's in Rochdale. I don't know when, but it's soon. They've got somebody on the inside setting it up, so it'll have to be handled very discreetly.
Sounds promising.
Remember Derek Halloran?
He was running with them before.
That's him.
Jelly man.
Oh.
I'm told he's going straight. But Cooper and company are trying to put the arm on him. They need him for the safe blowing. He doesn't want to know. He skipped his flat to get out of it.
And this job's all set up?
My informant says so.
So they've got to get a replacement.
And soon,
Won't be easy.
unless they get help. Thank you, Danny. Put them there.
No.
Come on, Brian.
Can we use Halloran?
No. For one thing, I've given him a guarantee he'll be kept out of it. For another, he'll be too terrified to be relied on.
Oh, any ideas? Brian?
What we need is somebody who's totally reliable with a good working knowledge of explosives. Then all we have to do is plant him.
He'd have to have more than his share a bottle. They're our team, and dangerous. They'd maim anybody they suspected grassing.
Central heating? All place to be overhauled top to bottom. And some new radiators. 4 days they've given us. Ridiculous.
Starting when?
Starting now.
Now? Don't we get any notice?
It were tendered for 8 months ago. We wrote to you last week to tell you we'd be starting today. Still, if it's inconvenient.
No, now you're here. Better get going.
Right. Where?
Where?
Where do we start?
Oh, you best start down that corridor there. That should be the least upset.
Right. Let's get moving then.
Well, I know there's none of our squad will do. How about getting someone from 3 district office? They might have an explosive expert, could do it.
I can give them a ring, but I don't think Cooper and his mates will swallow a
But
plant.
we've got to give it a go.
They'll be desperate to find a substitute. They may take the bet.
Finding a credible plant is not the... As I was saying, finding the right man is not going to be... Good God.
Central heating overall, ma'am. Seems we should have been told.
How long are they here for?
At least 4 days, they say, ma'am, barring strikes, lockouts, demarcation disputes and the like. Most of the work's upstairs. It's a pity they had to start outside your office, ma'am.
My feeling exactly, Joe. Would you move this, please?
And how long will he be away? No, that's too late. Cheers. There was a guy in 3 districts who would have done. But we couldn't have him till the day after tomorrow.
Oh, that's no use. Have they no suggestions?
Only daft ones.
Well, come on, think. We've got to find somebody.
Given time, we could come up
Yeah,
with
well,
an answer.
time's the one thing we haven't got.
Give me a couple of hours.
Right, do you have somebody in mind?
Just a thought. First, I've got to sell it to him.
Well, do your best. We've got a couple of calls to make, haven't we, Brian?
No need to rush. They won't be open yet.
Well, that's never been a problem, has it, Kate? Shall we say 4-ish here, then?
Right.
I must say, Kate, you certainly know how to make people feel welcome.
Danny, sorry for back.
Went out a couple of minutes ago, Mom. On foot in town centre. Shall I call her?
No, I'm slipping over to Crown Court, then home for a bite of lunch. Ring the state lady before it's time to get back to me. I'm looking. Inside the Beckett's bag, asking to phone me. Put a note on the board if I'm wanted. Crown Court or 683140.
Job very well done. Congratulations.
Hello, Kate. You missed the main event.
Missed it? So soon? I thought you'd have only just started.
Called on and finished.
And?
Very little for me to do, thanks to you. He pleaded.
He what?
He pleaded. Jeremy Quigley was representing him. I had a little chat with Jeremy. He advised his client he had no defense, and he admitted all the charges.
Wow, that's a turnout for the book. I thought we'd have had a real battle. It was hardly a 50-50 job, as you know. And he's never admitted to anything in his life before.
Then you must allow me some of the credit. In the event, he was given 3 years immediate imprisonment, which I think is about right.
Barely enough, but we must be grateful for small mercies. I never thought he'd have pleaded guilty. He must have really worked the oracle on Jeremy.
We aim to please. Kate, how about you joining me for a bite of lunch to show your appreciation?
Sorry, Nigel, I'm a bit pushed for the moment.
You're very elusive, aren't you, Kate? I suppose you do take time off for lunch.
Another time. Thanks for the invitation and for the conviction. See ya.
How about dinner sometime?
Fine, bring me.
You're early, Georgie.
Mother-in-law's day to visit.
Say no more, my old mate. Is there a brew on?
You seem particularly pleased with yourself.
Every dog must have his day, George, and today is this particular dog's day of days.
How come?
Early on, the Queen Bee returned unexpectedly to the hive and caught this particular drone banked to rights.
Oh, again?
Again, tea and biscuits on the counter.
You can't learn, do you? You know how she feels about that sort of thing.
She's got second sight or something.
So? What's the good news?
Have you seen the corridor to her office?
No.
When you have, you'll know. Pour us one, will you? I've got a phone call to make.
Six 83140. Hello? Who is that? I'm thinking that is very nice when I am knowing who you are.
I know you. You are a very sexy lady.
Who is this?
And I am telling you that what I would want him to do is soon on.
You filthy pervert.
What do women find to talk about for so long?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
683140?
Yes?
Miss Longton?
Yes?
It's Joe Beckman. There's a message for me to ring.
Oh, yes, Joe.
You all right, man?
Yes, thanks, Joe. I was just daydreaming. Are you busy?
No, nothing pressing. I was just going up to the pack horse, you know, on the tops. They've been a bit slow clearing at lunchtime, so I was just going up to give them a reminder.
Fine. Pick me up on the way. I'll come up there with you. Pull up here, Joe. I'd like a word. I fancy plain clothes work, Joe.
CID? Not my scene. I could do it, mine, better than some I know.
I'm sure you could. That's why I want to put you forward for a job.
CID?
No, not really. You worked down the pit before you joined the force.
Yeah, nearly 8 years. Wouldn't go back for all the tea in China.
Shot firer?
That's right.
Know how to handle explosives, then?
Yeah. Every day for over 3 years.
You still remember?
It's like riding a bike, you never forget.
Bit frightening, though. Gel ignite and that.
Safe as houses, if you know what you're doing.
How do you feel about dropping out of the police force for a short while? A few days, mixing with villains, living in crummy digs likely, taking risks. I want to put you forward for an undercover job, Joe. In another force area.
Why me?
Need someone who knows about explosives. A reliable copper who can act a part convincingly. You to a T, I'd say.
When do I start?
Just like that.
I'm due some time off. From what you say, it'll be like being on leave. I've often thought that about CID anyway.
There are risks, Joe. The team involved are very hard.
Don't be misled by appearances. Underneath this, there's rippling sinew and muscle trained to perfection.
I hoped you'd take it on. Would you believe I'm jealous? Beats harrying licensees for a living. When we get back, go home as usual, and then we'll meet for a briefing with Crime Squad, my office at 4. And Joe, not a word about this to anyone. It's essential nobody suspects what you're on. The whole operation and your safety depend on it. So, not a word. Not even George Parrish. Nobody.
George won't like that. But I will.
And that's as much as we know. This is the team. James Roger Stanley, known as Jimmy, CRO in 1971, burglary, deception, taking vehicles. Just done 3 for burglary, been out about 4 months. He's a bit of a no-mark, he's not a good thief. But he's brother-in-law to this one. Albert Arthur Rogers, known as Albert, CRO in 1969. With a couple for burglary, several woundings, a fray. Worked a protection racket of sorts that he got 5 years for it. He's only been out about 10 weeks. Now, he's evil. Very violent. No cunning, but dangerous. But this one's the king. Frederick Richard Cooper. Now, he's bad news.
Come in. Yes, George. What is it?
Oh, just wondering if you and the visitors wanted a brew.
No, thank you, George. George?
Yes, Mom.
Please see that we're not disturbed.
Yes, Mom. Sorry.
Yes, Freddie Cooper. He's only been convicted twice. Only one of those was for a decent job. Armed robbery that won him 5. He's lived off crime for the past 15 years, to my knowledge, and lived pretty well. On 3 other occasions, he was charged and acquitted. Witnesses mysteriously suffered from loss of memory or just disappeared. Now, he's the one I want most of all. But watch him. He's no fool.
Where is Derek, then? Doesn't his wife know?
She's gone with him. We'll get him.
When? It's got to be before the weekend, or the money will be shifted. The man says there's more than 100 grand.
The law will go wild.
The law won't know. Most of it's a tax fiddle. It won't even be reported. I'm not going to let this one get away. So find him. He's the only one I know good enough to do this job. And Albert, get some ale in.
Sam again. You got a light? You want to watch that? Could be dangerous.
Come in.
Can I have a word, Mom?
Yes, George. What is it?
Joe Beck, Mom. He's been struck off the duty sheets. Is he sick or something?
No, George. He's away on a job.
Oh, I see, Mom. Will he be away long?
Long enough. I can't say any more than that.
Only he's the nights next week. I was just wondering, will he be back or do we re-roster?
I honestly don't know, George. Take it that he won't be back and do whatever's necessary. And, George, don't make a big issue out of it, please.
No, Mom.
All right, Albert? All right. Half a bitter. Have you seen him around? Seen him, Albert?
No, I've not seen him in here.
Hello, Freddie. If he comes in, give us a bell. Could be worth your while.
What's he done then? Murder? Hey, he looks bad enough.
Blew a safe up north. Tied up the watchman. Heard he was hereabouts. He's a very good explosives man. And I want him. Sure he hasn't been in?
No, not while I've been here. Try the mitre. That's where the scruff get to.
I'm starting at the top and working down.
Where the hell's that Derek? Hey up. Look who's over there. That's the bloke the law was after.
So?
Well, he's a safe blower.
Yeah, I heard.
We could cut him in.
We could. It's worth a test. Get after him, Bert. Find out where he lives. And give them a ring.
Give him a ring?
Yeah. Let's see. You never know.
It's all right, love. My little dog's just run off and he nipped through your door. Little black and white terrier. Have you seen him? Rusty? Come on, Rusty.
Well, I haven't seen any little dog around here. Black and white, you say?
That's right.
Well, why'd you call him Rusty?
Wife wanted a brownie.
Well, I haven't seen any little dog around here. How old is he?
That your back door? You might have nipped out through there. Rusty! Come on, lad! Rusty!
Rusty? Rusty? Are you looking for Rusty? He's not in here.
You're a bit late going off, George.
Oh, wanted a word, Mum.
Come through. Sorry you've been waiting, George.
Oh, I was just wondering about Joe Beck, Mum.
Why?
Will he be back by Saturday from wherever he is?
I don't know, George. Why?
Well, he should be working Saturday evening. I've been covering for him, but on Saturday I'll arrange to take the wife out. I was just wondering...
George, fishing can be most unrewarding, particularly when you've no bait on your hook. I know you've been covering for Joe, and I appreciate it. I don't know when he'll be back, but you can go ahead with your plans for Saturday. I'll cover.
Ah, but there'll be no sergeant until 10 p.m, Mum.
If you don't think I can cope, George.
Oh, no, I'm sure you can, Mum, but...
Fine. If you're happy, this section will go to the dogs in the absence of a sergeant for a few hours. That's settled.
Thank you, Mum. How's this job of Joe Beck's going?
George!
Sorry.
I'm sorry, too. It's strictly a need-to-know situation. At the present time, you don't need to know.
Inspector Longton's office. Yeah, who is it, please? Just a moment. I'll see if I can find her. Man says he's your friend.
Hello? Now, you listen to me, and listen well. These childish phone calls are starting to annoy me. If I get one more, I'll set my stall out, and you'll be before the court so fast it'll take your breath away. I'll have you, and that's a solemn promise. I've had a few funny phone calls, George.
Sorry about that, Mum. I hadn't heard.
Neither had anyone else. I'm ex-directory. Only a few people have got that number.
Well, whoever it is wants sorting.
No, there's no harm done. I'm a big girl now. I won't get the vapours over a phone call. I think that might prove to be the last.
Well, he could start on somebody else.
I doubt it. I think it's just a personal thing. If I ever do find out who it is, a court appearance will be the least of his worries.
And after a few minutes, the law screamed up and piled into the house. Then I saw him at the end of the street. He just walked off.
Very smooth.
And fast.
We've no Derek. We could use this fella if we could find him.
You said...
We had to be sure, didn't we? Now we know he's all right.
Ready.
Give me a large whiskey.
I'll get that.
Cheers.
Go on.
A word.
Oh?
The law's been in asking for you. Likely they'll be back.
If somebody tells them.
That's not likely. Not if you're with me. So I deal with grasses.
See ya.
Come over.
Are you trying to keep me here?
No, you'll be all right. Just want to have a chat. Come on.
Hello, pal.
Push off!
don't remember me, do you? I know you.
I've never seen you before.
I never forget a face. Do I, Freddie, eh? I know you. Artley.
What about it?
Artley. That's where you're from.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. I remember. You were in the same landing as me in Strangeways in 1906.
Shut it. Shut it. Here. Here, a drink for our time's sake, Paul.
Good luck to you, pal.
Jimmy, get him in, will you? And get one for Joe.
What's with the Joe?
That's your name, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm Freddie, Albert, Jimmy.
What's your problem?
Problem?
What do you want?
A good Peter man.
So?
I've heard you're very handy with jelly.
Some loose traps around here.
Are you?
You know. I've seen you before.
No.
He was in here at lunchtime.
Yeah, maybe so.
Ready?
Can you handle a strong room?
Likely.
Soon?
Any time on my own.
No, with us.
With this setup, you've got to be joking. You're like a bunch of washerwomen.
It's big. 50 grand.
Each?
No. Between us.
Well, it's more like...
Could be more.
I want 20 grand for me.
You're not on. Busy
Sit,
sit down, Joe.
That's it. Take it or leave it.
Can you get the jelly? When?
If it's jelly you want, here. Help yourself, here. 20 grand.
Tomorrow.
Whenever.
You're on.
What's the job?
You'll know soon enough.
Oh, no, now. You're not setting me up with this stuff on me. I want to know where, when, and the type of safe, so don't mess me about. Tell.
Tomorrow is soon enough.
Now.
20 grand. Finish.
I want 20 grand for the job. That's the end.
Okay, let's go and talk.
Any talking we do here? First, I want you to pass this around. Self-protection. If the law comes in, I want all your prints on this. That way I'll feel more secure if one of you decides to go to the gents or something. Now put it under the table.
It's a fur shop. The owner's gone bent. He's turning all his stock into cash. And when he's got it out of the country, he's going to go bankrupt. My fella on the inside will fix the alarm. The money is in the office safe. We'll do it early when there's lots of traffic about.
Oh, Mom. There was a message from Joe Beck last night.
And?
Well, he just said to tell you that Jelly Baby will be home tonight.
Oh, great.
Whatever that means.
Thank you, George.
He didn't say anything else, Mom.
No, he wouldn't.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I don't suppose it does. It will soon. Just be patient.
Well, if I'm not to be trusted, I suppose.
Now, George, you're being childish. Take it from me, the message is good news up to now. You won't be kept in the dark much longer. Thanks for calling in to let me know.
Yeah, that wasn't all, Mom. I found this under the windscreen wiper of the supervision car in the car park last night.
On the station car park?
Yes.
What is it?
Well, it seemed like a letter, but it's addressed to the inspector, not to you by name, so I opened it.
You did right, George. What is it?
Well, I wasn't going to tell you, Mum. It's not very nice.
Oh, come on, George. Let's have a look.
Sorry, Mum. I did say it wasn't very nice.
You're certainly right there.
This is getting me on the joke now. This guy wants catching.
Get me a couple of plastic bags, George. We'll get this to headquarters for fingerprinting. Will you see it gets through?
I'll fix it up. Have you told the chief super about all this yet?
No, if I do, he might stop ringing me. It'd look well if he were my phantom caller.
No, I don't think so.
I'm joking, George.
Oh.
Well, I hope I'm joking. Now, let's keep this between ourselves for the next couple of days.
Have you got everything?
Here. How do we get in?
Why?
I can't climb. I get dizzy.
There'll be no climbing.
We go in like stuff.
Like stuff?
Huh. Through the back. With a key. Just like stuff.
A key? Hang on. Where are we?
What do you want to know for?
If it comes to a run, I want to know which way to go. I don't want to finish up in a dead end.
There'll be no running. Come on.
Where's the motor? King Street. The main road at the top is Bolton Road.
Joe, I love you. Let's go. All mobiles, Operation Jelly Baby. Location, King Street, Bolton Road. Unit 4, locate car, King Street, sit on it. Unit 2, front of premises, plenty of show. Unit 3, back of premises, meet me. Acknowledge.
Get that door open quick. Where's the safe then?
Come on, come on.
Come on, I don't want to be here longer than I have to.
We're as safe as houses. There you are. Get on with it.
We'd better get started then.
That's it. Attention all units, Operation Jelly Baby. Go. Repeat, go. Position 1. Unit 2.
Unit 2, in position.
Move in. Let them know we've arrived. counting. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now this way, Freddy.
Richard Cooper, I am arresting you for burglary. You are not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so. Anything you do say will be taken down and may be used in evidence. Oh, thanks, Joe. You were great. You, had us worried, though, for a minute.
You were worried?
You must be about ready for a pint. Come on, I'm buying.
Will it keep, boss? I've got a date in Hartley.
Oh, a good idea. The lads here will be tied up for a while. I'll run you over there. I owe Kate a drink. She set this whole thing up.
Evening, George.
Hey, Mum.
Just passing. Anything doing?
No, nothing much. Oh, it was a message from Crime Squad. I was going to ring you. It just says Operation Jelly Baby concluded successfully. 3 men detained. 4th man believed to have left area, travelling to Globe Hotel, Hartley. Please make contact.
Smashing. Absolutely great.
Doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, what do they want us to do?
We might start with a visit to the Globe.
Well, who are we looking for? I mean, the message doesn't say.
I think we may find Joe back there for starters. Come on, George. Get a civvy jacket on. It's past your finishing time.
Oh, I've got all this found property to check. It's not my job, really, but with Joe being away...
Leave it to him. He's back now. Lock it away and come on.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, come on, George. Don't be such a martyr.
Well, I'll be a few minutes.
Follow me down. I'll tell Joe you're coming.
Did I hear you mention the Globe, Mum?
Big ears.
It's just that I'm on my way down there. I'll give you a lift.
I've seen your car. But second-class driving beats first-class walking.
It's in the backyard.
I'm not surprised you're hiding it away. It could get the station a bad name.
Now then, what's this? I see. And who is a friend? Good evening, Mr. Taylor.
Good evening, Sergeant. Just a little joke between the inspector and myself.
A joke?
A private joke. You understand.
Oh, the inspector likes this kind of a joke.
Well, it's rather, spoilt the surprise now. If you give it me back, I'll see her myself and explain.
Well, I'm going to see the inspector. I'll give it to her. Perhaps you'd like to call at the police station tomorrow morning. Then you can see for yourself how much she enjoys the joke.
I'm very busy tomorrow.
Shall we say 9:30? Be there, Mr. Taylor. Miss Longton would be very disappointed if you weren't.
Well, I'll try.
I'm sure you'll manage. Good night, sir. Mr. Taylor, this car's private property. I'd keep away if I were you.
And they never sussed you at all, Sarge?
Oh, they're not very bright.
Oh, they're not daft either, Joe. You did a good job.
No problem, boss.
Any time Crime Squad gets stuck, give us a call at Hartley. Oh, here's George. I wasn't sure he'd come. He's been a bit about not being told what's going on. I'll buy him a drink, smooth his feathers. What is it, George? Pint of bitter?
Yeah.
Well, you'd be glad to get Joe back.
Oh, we were managing.
What's happened, George? You've not had a word for the cat for days. Now you look as though you'd come up on the pools.
We can all have secrets, you know.
And what's yours, George?
Pint of bitter, please.
Oh, secret, you clown.
Ah.
Pint of bitter, please. Stop gloating.
I know who your friend is.
You know?
I know.
Who?
Oh, my old son, have you been looking after the shop while
Just
the master's...
a minute, Joe. Just give us a minute and we'll join you.
I just caught him putting another of those letters under the wiper of your car.
Come on, George. Who is it?
You know Nigel Taylor?
The barrister? It was him?
It was.
Nigel Taylor. Where is he?
At home, I should think. He's coming to see us first thing in the morning.
Thank you, George. I'm very grateful. Well, crime squad was never like this.
Why, you coming back?
Not likely.
Oh, you jump at it.
No, here you know who your friends are.
Next on Drama, we catch up with London's finest police. The good folk of Sun Hill are on the beat. In the bill.
Do you know me? Are you deaf?
Yeah, I mean, no.
Make up your mind.
It means you know, you miss. You come to youth club together talk.
Ah, I thought I'd seen you before. Names, please.
Warren Tinkham. Joe Swarbrick.
Right, Joe and Warren. You're not supposed to ride two on a bike, are you? Besides the fact you might break your own necks, you endanger the lives of other people. Why? Because you can't control a bike properly with somebody sitting on the back. Now, get off home and take turns. If I ever catch you again, you know what'll happen, don't you?
I'll see you later.
Oh, heck. Oh. Who the hell? Fat lot of use you were. There! There!
Nice little house.
If it's what you want.
True.
Shall you be moving in, then?
Must say, I fancy it.
Ah. Edwin Fawcett.
Catherine Longton.
Police, aren't you?
Right, first time.
I saw your picture in the paper.
Good one, wasn't it?
Not bad. Well, then.
Well, then what, Mr. Fawcett?
You'll have trouble with the roof. Oh? Nothing but trouble with that roof.
Looks reasonable.
Nail tired.
Do nails get tired?
By age, like folks.
Well then.
Still, nice little house. Been well looked after.
Except for the roof.
That's it.
Been here long?
Since I were married. Wife's passed over.
Lonely?
I've been daughter nearby. Funny thing,
Yes.
police next door.
Well, I'll be off duty here. Well, sort of.
Police is no place for a lady.
I seem to be getting along and I've not changed sex.
I work for a builder.
Oh?
I'll have a look at that roof for you.
Great.
Yes. I see, yes. From the playground. Yes, I see. Could you come along and give us full particulars, Mrs. Cadwell? No. Thank you. It'll be fine.
Ta, any tea going?
Yeah, Danny's just made one.
Oh, great.
Did you see the house, Mum?
I did.
Any use?
Could be. I hear there's some tea going. Hello. What's this? Oh, heck, where'd you find that?
Landlady, Marv.
Are you that intimate?
Eh? She's past 50.
Oh, some like the older woman. Sit down, Danny. You do better at home.
I haven't got home, I'm not here.
Take the next 2 days off.
I'd rather come in here.
I'm telling you to take a couple of days off. I can't have those germs doing the rounds of my police force. Crime would take a great leap forward. No. You stick to your bed for a couple of days, see how you go. And try a smile from time to time. Surprising what the physical effort of a smile does for the inner man. Or woman. Oh, go home now. We'll manage the rest of the shift. Buy some lemons and honey on your way, and get your landlady to dish them up frequently with hot water.
Oi! Oh! Oi!
So, you kept late at school?
No.
He just said
He stayed for judo. He wasn't kept.
And when he came out, you went to the bike sheds and found the bike gone?
That's right.
I'm asking the lad, Mrs. Cadwell.
Well, that's what he told me.
Yes, but I want him to tell me. Is the bike there at dinner time, Walter?
Yeah.
You sure of that?
Yeah, a couple of lads asked me for a loan. I hope you said no.
Look, it's quite new. You can't have
Vanity,
all and
yeah?
sundry on it. We don't like him lending.
It
He's only
cost
just
me.
started riding it to school, and now this.
All is not yet lost.
The bike is.
It's a small town and it looks like an inside job to me. So
what?
So it could very well turn up quite quickly.
Unless it's sold. I mean, it could be sold, couldn't it?
I sent you home.
I found this on the way.
That's it. It's all wet.
Is that your bike, Walter?
Looks like it.
Well, take a good look, lad. You must be sure.
That's it, all right.
Walter, is it your bike?
Yeah, it's mine.
Well, look at the number.
Yeah, it's mine.
Found property register, please. So what happened, Danny?
I caught two lads doubling up on it, so I shouted at them. They took off towards the canal, so I followed. On the bridge, I heard this splash. Looked over to the towpath, saw the bike sinking, two lads running away.
It was stolen, all right.
That's what we have to find out.
Of course it was stolen.
All right, Walter. Sign it, and then you can take your bike home.
What about the thieves?
We shall start inquiries, Mr. Cadwell. Now, get the lad home. He looks done in.
Aye. Right.
You'll not ride it to school again.
Supposed to be my bike.
Useful sort of cold. Might not have found that bike without it. I'll look at these later. Might pop into the youth club.
Game of darts?
Hunch. Mother again? Must be lonely. Come along, Danny. I'll give you a lift. We'll talk about that hunch.
You bust. I'll buy one. Buy one for a lollipop. Go on, I'll stick. Right. Right. I've got 21. Go on. Beat that.
Full house, eh?
Oh, yeah, it's a good night. Fix you up with a game of darts, if you like.
No, I'd sooner have a look at the table tennis.
Ah, well, a couple of very good players there.
How well do you know them?
Oh, well enough. They're lively, mischievous, no harm to anyone.
Good.
Why, are they in trouble?
Not really. That is, they might be.
Because I don't want you coming in here and,
It's nothing like that. I just want to verify something.
yeah, but I don't want you coming in here being heavy with them.
I'm not heavy. You should know that.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. Good game. Oh, lost your maid. What about a game of doubles?
I'll play.
Good. Oh, can I have a bat? Shall I serve?
Yep. 1-0. 2-0.
Thanks. That bike you were on?
Bike?
The one I saw you doubling up on.
It were a land.
Oh, Walter lent it you, did they?
Yeah.
You're friends with Walter? The chain was broken, I heard.
Well, he was in judo. And they don't like us going in judo when we're not playing it like. He said we could lend it.
Yes, I like it, Mr. Saddlethwaite. Do you think they'd knock something off for the roof?
Well, we can ask. It's a very ordinary little house, Inspector.
Yes, that's why I like it.
We've a very nice place.
Oh,
Just on the market.
but I like this one.
You might find it confining.
No, it's homely.
If I might suggest you look this one over. Early 1930s. Bright, spacious, very pleasing. For a person in your position. I mean, you are a personage.
Personage?
Well, you know what I mean. Well, the area is a good one. Houses well spaced. Neighbours, more your style.
No, I fancy this little terrace. It looks cosy. Yes, it suits me. And my pocket.
Little one work done on it.
Yes, the roof.
I suppose you could knock the two downstairs rooms into one.
I don't want to change it.
I see.
Good. Shall I make an offer?
Of course. Have you a solicitor?
A colleague has recommended one.
Mortgage?
Oh, yes. But I've a fair bit to put down.
Ah. Are you sure you won't have a look at this other house? Semi-detached.
I like the terrace. It's warmer tucked up like that.
Very well, Inspector. But have you seen the neighbours?
Yes, I have, Mr. Saddlethwaite. Can we get on? I'm a very busy woman. Oh, hello. Inspector Longton. Oh, I wonder if I might see Danny Sparks. Oh, yeah. Well, he's still in his bed, but you better come through. Thank you. How's he been? It's not been too good.
give him his breakfast in bed.
He's eating quite well. Here we are. Hello, Danny.
Oh.
The inspector. Checking up on you, love. I'll just take this tray. Oh. You've not eaten your bacon? Oh, well. Better luck next time.
How are you, Danny?
Not bad. Sorry about the mess.
Oh, it looks pretty Spartan to me. Mum and Dad,
Oh, yeah.
go home much?
Not much.
From choice?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, you sound a lot better.
Oh, good. You shouldn't be here, Mom.
Oh?
Well, you don't want to catch this snorter, do you?
I'm taking my vitamin C. Interested in flying?
Oh, yeah. Wanted to be a pilot once. Big dream.
Dream?
Math's not good enough. Too thick generally.
You're not thick. Those two lads with the bike. You didn't actually see them toss the thing in the water.
Oh, no, Mum. I just heard the splash, so I'm running away.
They say it were a land.
Say out.
Do you know them?
Seen them about, young rips. Actually, Mum.
Yes?
Actually, I saw the lads and their parents last night.
Last night, you should have been in bed.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd go round after youth club.
I see.
I thought I ought to. Can you give it to the typist, please?
Yes, I will. Seems nice and clear. Oh, oranges. And rum and butter toffees. That should oil the works.
You're worse than me, man.
Know anything about Walter and family?
Not seen him before, as far as I recollect.
I had a word with his headmaster. I had to go round to the school on other business, and you were ill. Hard-working lad, apparently. Bit repressed.
What about the other two?
He said the same as you. A couple of rips into all sorts of mischief. But not bad, he thinks.
Must have panicked over the bike.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder if I should have a word with Walter.
Well, if you want to, Mum.
Right then. I'm off. Keep warm.
Mum?
Yes? Yes?
It's nothing, sorry, Mum.
Not in such a hurry.
It's nothing, really, Mum.
I'll send you some books round.
Oh, great.
Detective stories.
You're joking, Mum. I won't mind some science fiction, though.
Will do. Bye.
Who's that at this time?
You won't know till you answer it.
Don't be cheeky. You go.
Oh, hello, Walter. Is your mum in?
Yeah?
Oh,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Could you spare a minute or two, Mrs. Cadwell?
Oh, well, yes. Will you come in?
Thank you.
We're just having our bit of tea.
Oh, don't let me interrupt you.
Oh, no. I mean, will you have a drink of tea?
Thanks. I'd love one.
Best go into the lounge.
Oh, no, please. You're eating. If you don't mind, I'll just sit here. Sorry to burst in on you like this.
That's all right. It's just, you know, never had the police here before, like. Sit up, Walter. Have you arrested them?
No.
Have you not found them, then?
We found the two lads who,
Put the bike in the canal. Just sit still, Walter. This concerns you. They're not going to get away with it, are they?
Do you know Joseph Swarbrick and Warren Tinkham?
Yeah.
Speak up, Walter.
I said yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you say they could borrow your bike?
Well, did you? Did you? We said not to lend it, didn't we? Your dad and me said no lending. The whole neighbourhood would be on it given half the chance.
Did you say they could borrow it, Walter?
Well,
Walter?
of course I didn't. But what's the odds?
What do you mean, what's the odds?
Nothing.
They both say you gave them permission to borrow the bike after school, while you were in judo.
Well, they're lying.
Mrs. Cadwell?
They broke the chain, didn't they?
They say Walter forgot to give them the key.
If it was a lend, why did they throw the bike in the canal?
An accident, they say. It fell in.
They were seen by that policeman.
He heard a splash, that's all. You definitely didn't lend it, Walter.
Of course he didn't lend it. Walter doesn't tell lies.
Walter?
Walter?
No.
Did they ask?
They're always asking.
Do you go to the youth club, Walter?
Sometimes.
It's too much homework, Inspector. And they're a funny lot that go there.
I go there. I had a good game of table tennis last night, and there's darts and so on. It's good fun. Good crowd of boys and girls. Oh, that's it. Mrs. Cadwell, the boys have never been in trouble before. As Walter's got his bike back, perhaps he'd like to withdraw the complaint.
They weren't teaching a lesson.
Well, think about it there, Walter.
He's thought about it. And so have I. And so has my hubby. Those lads should be put in the dock.
We don't put youngsters in the dock, Mrs. Cadwell. You definitely didn't ever say the boys could borrow your bike, Walter. Speak up. I won't bite you.
No, I never said.
Good evening. Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening. I'd like to see your boss.
Inspector Longton's busy just now. Can I help you?
No, I really want to see her.
What's the problem?
No problem. Just something I want to put in right, as you might say.
I see. Well, maybe I can help you get it straight.
I really want to see her. She played ping pong last night with my boy.
Oh, yeah. Joe.
No, Warren. I suppose you're all onto him now.
I wouldn't say that, Mrs. Tinkham.
My word, you're sharp.
Sharp.
Getting onto my name so quick.
Just putting two and two together. What about Warren, Mrs. Tinkham?
Well, that policeman.
What policeman?
The one with nasty cold. I told him he should be in bed. Well, he called last night. I've never had a policeman at my door before, and my lad never took that bike for a start. It were a lend.
I see.
Do you mind if I sit down? My feet give me a lot of trouble, like.
Come through this way, Mrs. Tinkham.
You're not putting me in a cell, are you? I've heard folk can come in here and not be seen again.
We can be very hospitable. There's a chair through here.
Electric chair? Oh, sorry, Sergeant. I'm a terrible joker, if it weren't for my feet. I clean municipal offices, do you see? Then I go into the laundrette, seeing to things they like, and I'm on my feet all day. Warren's daddy went off. He left us just like that. So it's all on me now, and I've never had...
That's it. Put down my deposit. Don't say it. Too little. I should have a nice semi in a nice street in a nice part of town with nice neighbours.
It's okay, Mum. Like where my mum lives.
Surveyor's got to give it the once over, and searches and all that. There shouldn't be any trouble. Never had my own home. Never had a settled home.
Shunted about, Mum.
Well, army family. All over the place.
Oh, yeah. You go abroad much?
You can say that again.
I thought of the army. You know, after the Air Force.
No go?
Big boots and guns? Not for me, Mum.
You like a uniform?
Maybe. Like to feel I'm doing something. At least I thought I did.
When I look at little places like this, homes, you know, I wish I was settled. It's Especially at night when the lights are on, you can just peep inside the rooms.
I like home. That is, I wanted to get away when I was there, but miss me mates. I'm thinking of packing the job in.
The thing is, Mrs. Cadwell, both boys swear that Walter gave them permission to take the bike.
They would, wouldn't they?
We've only Walter's word that he didn't give that permission.
Not mine.
You were not present.
I know my son.
There's not much to bring a case on, Mrs. Cadwell. And these two boys have never been in trouble before. If we can keep it out of court...
They should be in prison, never mind court. And this constable saw them throw the bike in the canal.
No, Mrs. Cadwell, I never said that.
The boys say it was an accident, Mrs. Cadwell. As it's a first offence, I think...
They want teaching a lesson. Will you have a drink of tea?
No, thanks. Mrs. Cadwell, the boys' parents, they're decent people and very upset by this.
So they should be.
So, reason did not prevail. What do you think?
Hey, Mum.
It's your case.
I suppose you'd like to settle out of court?
Better, don't you think?
Well...
Court can be a traumatic experience for all concerned, especially Walter. If those two lads would just admit to taking the bike, we could caution them and keep it out of court. Nice toffees.
You bought them, Mum?
I've impeccable taste. Resigning, you said? Well?
Just thinking about it, Mum.
How long have you been thinking about it?
Since I went home last.
Talked to anyone else about it?
No. I mean, sorry, Mum. No, I haven't.
Not happy? Is someone upsetting you?
No, that is...
Someone is upsetting you.
No. The lack of someone.
To upset you?
No. Oh, I can't explain, Mum.
Well, try. It's a big thing, throwing up a career.
It's not for me, Mum.
You lonely?
Yeah.
But you get on with the other men and women.
Yeah, I do. It's just that I feel sort of cut off.
From what?
Me mates.
In Rotherham?
Maybe.
But you told me you don't go home often.
That's right.
Well, then you cut yourself off. I mean, you got 3 days.
No, that is, I don't go home because I am cut off.
You mean they've cut you off? Your mates?
Is this an interrogation, boss? Sorry, Mum.
Maybe. I don't want to lose a good man.
They look at me funny.
Where are the butties, Donny?
Coffee, Mum?
No, thanks. I got me yogurt.
Sandwiches, Mum? I thought you didn't stoop to such things.
Health food shop. Salad and good homemade bread.
Any luck with Mrs. Cadwell?
No. I'll have to go to court, I'm afraid.
So the two lads won't admit to taking the bike without permission?
No.
Shame.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Not a naughty boy, telling all them lies.
Hello. You're looking bright and chirpy.
Yeah, and as they reached the door, I caught this look.
Between the boys?
Yeah, funny sort of look.
Has Walter been got at, do you think?
Dunno, hard to tell. Something's going on.
Thanks, Donny.
Oh.
Smashing, absolutely terrific. Yes, absolutely terrific.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning. And I'm going to have another one this afternoon. Finalised on the house yet, Inspector?
We exchange contracts tomorrow.
Quick work.
Thank goodness. I want to get settled.
Surveyor's report reasonable.
Not bad. Roof's a bit tricky, but I can move in and live there while I get the bits and pieces done.
Good.
That Joseph Swarbrick and Warren Tinkham took the bicycle belonging to Walter Cadwell from the cycle shed at the school on the day in question without the permission of...
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
No, Mrs. Tinkham.
Someone's got to say something, your lordship.
But not you, Mrs. Tinkham. The boys have Mr. Topham, their solicitor, to answer for them if they don't answer themselves.
Your Worships, I represent both the defendants. They plead not guilty to the charges.
That's what I said.
Mrs. Tinkham, I must ask you not to comment.
But I only said that...
Thank you, Mrs. Tinkham. Inspector?
The first witness is Walter Cadwell, your worships.
Take the book in your right hand and read the words on the card.
I promise before Almighty God that the evidence I give to the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Be seated.
Walter, will you tell the ladies and gentlemen your full name and address?
Walter Cadwell, 15, Cookerville Road, Artley.
How old are you, Walter?
13.
And which school do you go to?
Bridgefield Comprehensive.
You went to school on March the 15th?
Yeah,
Did you have your bicycle with you?
yeah.
Tell the magistrates what happened.
I left the bike in the sheds.
Did you secure it with a lock and chain?
Yeah,
And when it was time for you to go home?
it wasn't there.
Yes.
The bike had gone and the chain was broken.
Have you seen your bicycle since then?
Yeah, the policeman brought it into the police station.
Walter, did you give permission to anyone to remove your bicycle from the school cycle shed? Walter, did you give permission to Joseph Swarbrick and Warren Tinkham to take your bicycle?
You must answer the question, Walter.
Did Joe and Warren ask to borrow your bicycle?
Yeah,
What did you do?
give Joe a flip over the ear.
What did you do that for, Walter?
He's always asking.
Is that any reason to practice your judo on him?
Silence, please.
It's the way he asks, dead cheeky.
After you delivered this flip on the ear, what happened? Did you then give the boys permission to use your bike?
Walter, speak up. I must ask you not to comment, Mrs. Cadwell.
But he's not answering.
Thank you, Mrs. Cadwell.
Walter, did you give Joe and Warren permission to use your bike?
Now you must answer the question, Walter. Walter? The question. We're waiting.
What's wrong with him?
My lord, lady, how much longer have we to wait here? You see, I've got a job to go to, and I'll be losing it if I have to hang around here much longer.
Silence, please.
Yeah, but jobs don't grow on trees.
Mr. Swarbrick.
Walter, did you give these two boys permission to use your bike?
Now speak up, Walter.
Your Worships, may I ask for a short adjournment?
How long would you like, Inspector?
I think 15 minutes should suffice.
The court's adjourned for 15 minutes.
All stand.
Would you mind coming this way, please, Mrs. Cadwell?
Is it over, Mum? I've not
A
been.
slight hitch, Constable.
What are you up to?
Why didn't you answer?
What are you playing at?
May I speak to Walter? Walter, did you give permission to Joe and Warren to use your bike? If you don't answer the question, we shall have to drop the case.
Speak up, boy, for goodness sake.
You're wasting everybody's time messing about.
Have you been got at, Walter?
Got her?
Have Joe and Warren threatened you in any way?
That's it, isn't it? He's been got at.
Don't be daft, they couldn't knock the skin off a rice pudding.
You've not answered my question, Walter. Were you persuaded in some way to keep quiet?
No.
Well, something must have happened.
Mrs. Cadwell, Walter has some reason of his own for not answering the vital question. If he has not been persuaded in some way to keep quiet...
He's been threatened. Of course he didn't give permission for his bike to be borrowed.
We don't allow it.
We have no evidence that Walter has been persuaded in any way.
So, what happens now? You can't just drop it all. I mean, the bike was stolen. There's no doubt about it.
We have no evidence that the bike was stolen.
You have my word.
Neither of you were present when the boys asked permission to borrow the bike. The case rests on whether Walter gave that permission. If he doesn't wish to speak for some reason of his own, there is no case.
But that constable saw the two young devils throw the bike in the canal.
No, he did not see that, and the boys insist that it fell in.
Well, it's ridiculous they're getting away with murder. I'm sorry.
Still not willing to answer the crucial question, Walter? Right then, back to the Worships. So I'm afraid the prosecution can offer no further evidence in this case.
Thank you, Inspector.
They can't get away with this.
Silence, please.
Well, under the circumstances, we have no alternative but to dismiss the information against the defendants.
There now.
It's not right. Getting away with murder.
Order, please.
Bloody marvellous.
Order, please.
But all this time wasted.
Clear the court, please.
Your Honour, my boy's been tainted and I want some...
Clear the court.
Is it finished, Mum? I've not given evidence
Morning,
yet.
No, he hasn't,
Sorry
has
to
he?
rush.
And it's not right.
Very,
See you.
yes.
You should be pleased. Your boy's been found not guilty.
Pleased? Why should I be pleased? He's done nothing and he's been dragged into court and put through all this for
But
nought.
he's been cleared of all suspicion, Mrs. Tinkham.
But he's tainted. We've never had trouble in our family before. And what about his future?
Future?
Being tainted like this?
It's all over, Mrs. Tinkham. The charge has been dropped.
But it's been there, hasn't it?
Can I get past, please? Only have a job to get back to unless they've sacked me already. You should be more careful, miss, before you get innocent boys up in court.
I hope you're proud of yourself, Inspector. And you too. We're respectable people, Inspector. And this is a slur on our good name. As if we make a habit of telling lies.
Don't get carried away, Mrs. Cadwell.
That judge frightened our Walter.
No.
If truth can be sat on like this, then I give up.
Did we get the wrong ones in dock? Why wouldn't he speak? I don't think those two lads got at him.
How do you mean, Mum?
Well, he refused to open his mouth when it came to answering the crucial question.
I see.
Do you?
His mates.
They're not that close. I wonder if he wanted to spite his parents.
Well.
Hot on him not lending a thing.
Must be a tough little kid
Yeah,
standing up in
possessive
court like
couple.
that, not letting on.
Let's hope he stays tough. In the right way. Can I drop you anywhere? You're not on this shift, are you?
Oh, no, thanks, Mum. Fancy a walk.
Okay. Oops.
You've not said anything about me resigning, Mum.
No, it's not for me to say anything. It's up to you to make up your mind.
Yeah, well.
Why don't you come down to the youth club sometime?
Youth club, Mum?
Yeah, game of darts and all that.
Not much of a sportsman.
I bet you're good with youngsters.
Me?
Yeah. Or could be if you put your mind to it. You're not much older than some of the kids there.
Childish, you mean, Mum?
No. You understand how they feel.
Case go well, man?
Witness let me down.
Oh, young Danny?
No, young Walter. He used to open his mouth when it came to the crunch.
What a waste of time.
Not wholly. I think the miscreants learnt a lesson. And Walter learnt something about himself.
And left you with egg on your face, yeah?
I felt a bit mad, but I concealed it very well.
You have a visitor.
A visitor?
Interview room.
Criminal?
I don't think so.
Who?
Says she's your mother.
You're joking.
I don't think so. She has a look of you.
Might have known. I should never have told her about the house. I've not even moved in yet. Where am I going to put her?
Nice clean cell round the corner.
Oh, thanks a bunch. I might need it for myself. A refuge. Oh, good old man. Can't keep her down. Oh, well. See, pickpockets at it again.
Hello. Thought it was you.
Oh,
What goes?
my bike.
How do you mean?
I mean, I don't want it.
Well, don't ditch it, sell it.
They won't let me.
They?
Mum and Dad. I'm fed up with the rotten thing.
Oh?
Don't do this, don't do that. Look after it, it costs money. I do look after it, but there's no fun to it and it makes me sick to look at it now.
It's a good bike.
I'd rather wait and buy my own one day. Then they can whistle.
You can't blame them, really.
I can.
I mean, they probably had it hard. You know, when they were kids, money and...
They can stuff the money.
Listen, don't chuck it away. Leave it be. Just don't use it. One day you might need it. But be a man. The bike is only a thing.
That's what I say to them.
Right then, put it to one side and forget it. Look around. To other things. You're letting it rule your life.
They rule my life.
You have to live with them for a while. But you're growing up, you know. It's only for a short time.
I'm getting rid of the bike.
In the wrong way, lad. You throw it away now and you'll never forget it. Nor will your folks. Let it lie for a while. And it'll stop being a monster. They'll be begging you to use it. Look, are you coming out at Youth Club? I'm on my way there. Game of darts or something, fancy it?
Yeah, why not?
Good.
Go on, John.
Oh, nice one, John. Come on, Walter. Put a ticket on your bike.
Come on!
Right game, Walter. All right, coach, on us. All right, John.
Good game.
Great, man.
Walter's folks know he's here.
Yeah, he went and asked him. I said I'd watch out for him. They're a bit anti-police just now, you know, but, well, he's here. I caught him trying to throw that damn bike into the canal.
Hey?
Yeah. Says he's sick of it. Well, I told him to put it into cold storage for now. Think again.
Good man. Have you thought again?
Yes, Mum. Give it another 6 months. Well, see what happens, eh?
There's a Coke for you.
Thanks, John.
Next on Drama, we catch up with London's finest police. The good folk of Sun Hill are on the beat. In the bill.
Susan.
Please.
What is it, love? What's happened? It's not your fault. You didn't know the man. You didn't approach him. Girl, it's just something that happened to you. It could happen to anyone. Do you think you'd recognize him again if you saw him?
I would, yes. Always.
Okay. Now look, Susan, there's no alternative to this. We're going to have the police. They have to know. It has to be reported, this, for the sake of others and also for the sake of the man who did this to you.
I can't go to the police station.
Oh, that's all right. I know someone, a policewoman. I'll give her a ring.
What for?
Well, maybe she can come round here. You can tell her about it in your own way and she'll understand you. Okay? Go on. You drink your tea. Won't take long.
What'd you start clapping for?
Because it was good.
I've not finished yet, you know.
Oh, I thought you had.
Only halfway through
I'm
it.
sorry, Jones. Forget my catch. Pretend it didn't happen. Great lump.
What's all that?
Hello, lad.
Dad, come and hear me play. Mum's been, you know.
Oh, let's have a brief interlude, Joe. Give your dad a chance to have his supper.
I can't play toward that. You'll just have to wait for the news.
You've been making trouble again, Miss Bossy Boots. Come here.
Get up, Dad. You're hurting. Breaking me ribs.
Jelly bones?
You scratched your face.
Yes, I caught it on some brambles. Mrs. Hebditch's ill-kept garden.
How was Mrs. Hebditch?
Susan West. Would I know her from the youth club?
Likely you met her. But I haven't told her it was you I contacted. The idea of an inspector might have frightened her off.
I want to talk to her alone. Susan? Hello. Do you remember me? Sit down, love.
You're the inspector.
Inspector Longton. Kate.
Where's John, Mr. Oldham?
All right, he's just upstairs. Left us so we can have a chat on our own. Who did this to you, Susan?
A man. A man.
All right. Now, I'd like you to tell me all about it, okay? Everything that happened. Will you do that? Where did it happen?
Canal Bank.
What time was this?
About 6. We're coming home from school. Stayed behind with us in school play.
Was anyone with you?
Not by the time he appeared.
Do you know him? Would you recognise him?
I'd know him again.
Did he touch you anywhere else? So, this is all that happened. Nothing else?
He didn't get what he wanted. I kicked out at him, made for his face with my nails, scratched his face. It hurt him.
How'd the girl's parents take it, man?
Pretty shaken up.
At least this lad's got a good look at him. It's a fuller description. It fits with the other two.
Her mother's bringing Susan round tomorrow morning for the artist. I'd like you to supervise Bernie. Chat to the girl, see if she can remember anything else.
Right, then.
Same pattern. Isolated locale, attack on a teenage girl. Intended sexual assault which comes to nothing. Man runs scared.
Can't get through with it. Loses his nerve.
Might start getting braver. 3 incidents in as many weeks. That suggests a pretty disturbed individual. Next time could get a lot nastier.
Colin? Where are you? Joe! Come on, Joe, it's time you were moving.
Where's Dad?
Come on, young lady, stop messing about. You're late enough as it is.
What's wrong, Mum?
Oh, go on, chop, chop. Get your breakfast.
You cannot go to work on an empty stomach. Breakfast is the most important part of the day. It sets you up.
Your grandmother teach you that? Okay, okay. Mind if I stick to black tea?
Hey, I thought I might go around to see Susan today. You know, see how she's coping with her parents.
She'll be with us this morning at the station, helping our artists.
Well, I'll pop round this evening and happen she'll want a hand.
I'd like to come too. That'd be all right.
Yeah, that'd be fine if you got the time.
Yes, definitely. It's all too easy to forget the victim.
They were at it again this morning.
Were they?
Her and that chap.
At, what exactly?
Jogging round the park like there was no tomorrow.
Sounds harmless enough.
Hartley Park wasn't built for jogging in. We were made for listening to the band on Sunday afternoons.
Morning, George.
Morning, Mum.
Joe.
Morning, Mum.
Susan West and her mother here,
Not
yeah?
arrived as yet, Mum.
Let me know when they come, will you? Also, Bernie Duckworth will need to be told.
Yes, Mum.
Oh, and George, make a bit of a fuss over them, will you? Not easy for them having to come here over this.
Certainly. Nice to see you two out and about again this morning. Getting to be quite regular.
Yes, we even had breakfast together.
What's going on? Having breakfast with a youth leader.
Her life.
Oh, no, it's not, you know.
Is it a fair like this, love? are you? What are you doing?
I think you may want to talk to me.
Come on, get in the car.
I phoned the hospitals in case there'd been an accident. I phoned his sister, but she's not seen or heard of him. What's happened?
Now, don't fret too much, Mrs. Butler. There's likely a simple explanation.
Well, that's what everyone keeps saying. But what is it, this explanation? I've brought a photograph. It's quite recent.
Can we hold on to this?
What's the matter?
Yes, Mrs. Butler, that's fine. Would you mind taking a seat? It won't be a second.
George?
It's a woman, Mama. Mrs. Butler lives over on Glendale, wife of a Dr. Butler. She's come in to report him missing. Brought his photograph.
When did he go missing?
Only there's one thing I didn't tell the sergeant. My husband took some pills with him.
What kind of pills were they?
Well, I don't know. He keeps a variety for emergencies in the cabinet in his study.
You mean for patients?
Yes. I found the cabinet open this morning and some of the bottles missing.
Has he been depressed lately?
Well, he can get down sometimes over a patient if someone's terminally ill. It's not easy for him. But we're a happy family, very happy.
What sort of person is he?
No one could want for a better husband.
You haven't noticed anything odd about his behaviour recently? You know, anything untypical? Has he seemed restless?
Not at all.
What time did he get in last night?
7, 8.
Know where he'd been?
Well, visiting a patient, a Mrs. Hebditch.
Happen to know where Mrs. Hebditch lives?
It's Glen Eagles Avenue, I think. I mean, why do you ask that?
Just filling in the background. Small details like that might help us in tracing your husband.
You seem to be taking this very seriously all of a sudden. I mean, your sergeant didn't seem to think...
How long have you been in Hartley, Mrs. Butler?
A year now. We were in Manchester. We lived there for 11 years. My husband was born in Hartley, wanted to settle back here, so he joined a local practice.
Has he got relatives here?
Well, just a sister. His parents are dead.
Well...
Excuse me a moment.
Don't worry. I won't peep.
It's the rule, madam. You understand?
Yes.
Just gave himself up. Emmy's in there now, writing out his statement.
Sergeant Beck found any tablets on him?
Butler dumped him, apparently. Wanted to end it all, but he couldn't get through with it. That's his version.
Any reason to question it?
Saved us a sight bother if he'd swallowed the lot.
Don't be daft. There's little a dead man would have been able to admit to. Made our job a lot more complicated.
Yes, ma'am.
What's his attitude now?
It's right, a miserable load of rubbish.
Let's leave our private opinions at home, all right?
The man's committed a serious offence. Is that to be forgotten now?
You planned to commit suicide. What changed your mind?
It was too easy. It was just an easy way out. I don't think I was really serious about it deep down. It was just a way of conditioning myself so that I could admit that
Have you any understanding as to why you did this? I mean, has it anything to do with your marriage, for instance? Have you been unhappy at home?
I love my family, my wife and my daughter. Such violence is totally alien to me. I'm gentle with my child.
You've made a very full statement, Dr. Butler, but Detective Sergeant Duckworth will have further questions to ask. You have the right to be represented by a solicitor.
I'll be pleading guilty. It doesn't seem much point, does it?
That's a matter for you. You'll be bailed later.
I couldn't go back home. I couldn't possibly go back home.
Then you'll be detained for the night and appear before the magistrates tomorrow. We will not oppose bail should you wish to make application then.
Well,
Dr. Butler, your wife is here at the station.
Helen,
She came in to report you missing.
does she know?
Not as yet. When she's told, she may wish to see you. If that's the case, you may have a few moments together in the presence of an officer. Would you like to see your wife? Thank you, Brian. Mrs. Butler, I'm afraid you must prepare yourself for something of a shock.
You found Colin?
Dr. Butler has admitted to several attacks on teenage girls over the past few weeks. He'll be charged with 3 offences of assault, occasioning actual bodily harm.
It's not possible.
Your husband has made a statement, voluntarily, a full admission.
No, there's a mistake.
The courts will have to judge, but he's now in custody. There's no way I can make this less distressing for you.
But I mean, he would never. I mean, assault, violence. Oh, what are you saying?
The situation is as I've described it, I'm afraid, Mrs. Butler.
But he's incapable of it. Incapable. I mean, Colin, I read about it in the newspapers. Attacks on young girls.
They were teenage girls of 16 or over. There was another incident yesterday evening.
Seems like you're talking about someone different. Not Colin. Stranger.
You didn't suspect anything. I mean, you know your husband, how his mind works. Didn't you sense something was wrong?
I've been married to Colin for 15 years. Today, I don't feel I've ever known him. Not one bit.
Over the past few weeks, you've remained in complete ignorance.
You think I'd sleep at night beside a man who went after young girls, thinking, remotely suspecting that he had? Do you think that's possible?
Has there been any unhappiness between you?
Seems so, doesn't it? From his point of view, something wrong, that's evident. Yes. I wasn't aware. What do I tell Josephine?
Your daughter.
Well, what do I say? What words explain it to a 12-year-old?
This is going to be a very difficult time for you, Mrs. Butler. Obviously, if I can help in any way...
Oh, I doubt it. Where's Colin now?
In the station here with CID.
What happens to him? Where does he go?
He's refusing bail at the moment, so he'll stop the night here and appear in court tomorrow. If you could pack a small suitcase for him, you know, change of clothes and so forth. I'll have a constable collect it this afternoon, if that's convenient.
I want to see my husband.
That's not possible right now.
Not possible?
Not at the moment, no.
Very well, then, I'll wait. I'll wait.
He won't see you, Mrs. Butler.
Won't see me?
I'm sorry. That's his position.
Well, I want to see him.
It's his right to refuse you.
Right. Well, why won't he face me?
I think his shame's too great, frankly, Mrs. Butler.
His shame? What about my shame? And who can I look in the eye now? You take me to him.
I'm afraid not, Mrs. Butler.
Very well, then. I'll take myself.
Mrs. Butler!
Colin! Colin! Let me pass.
Can't do that.
Come this way, please, Mrs. Butler.
Colin!
Back to my office. Come along.
Colin, please!
Hello, Ellen.
Thanks for coming, Maury. Such short notice.
What on earth is it, love? You sounded so desperate on the phone.
Ellen?
You might not have known anything about it.
Married to a character like that? Give it here. And you're not telling me she didn't have some idea. After years married to him.
I felt a bit sorry for the woman, Sarge. Not her fault what a fella gets up to.
You've took best to save some sympathy for those he's set on, lad. And they're folk. Could have been your daughter sat out there with the artist this morning.
It's quite clear. There's no doubt he did it.
How can you just say that? Your husband.
You think I want to admit it to anyone, let alone myself? I feel coated with dirt. If I scrubbed myself for 100 years, I'd never be clean.
Look, whatever you feel, Ellen, you will stick by him.
For what good reason?
He needs you, obviously.
Needs me? He wouldn't even see me in the police station. Like I'd done it, like it was me with guilt. People who see me in the street. There's that woman whose husband assaulted those girls. Must be something mighty amiss with her. I'm tainted with what he's done, and so is my daughter.
Obviously, he's a sick man, Ellen, unbalanced. He'll be struck off, needs your help now, whatever your feelings. You're duty-bound, love.
Not anymore. Not after what he's done. That cuts the knot. The very thought of him makes my skin creep. I hope never to set eyes on him again.
Then what will you do?
Likely set off to Manchester with Joe. Stop over at my mother's for a bit while I can work out some kind of a life without Colin. Maureen, I was wondering if Joe and I might stay with you for a day or two meanwhile. Just while I clear things out and make arrangements.
Well,
I couldn't stand living here, all these things around me.
Wouldn't really be fair on Reg, you see, and the boys. There's bound to be a lot of gossip and unpleasantness. Bad enough without...
You don't want our troubles on your doorstep.
More than there will be anyway. I'm his sister. People know that.
So I'm the only one expected to stand by him. Only the wife has a duty.
I'm just his sister through accident of birth, love. I didn't choose him.
Won't be a moment. Who did this? Which of you did this to my daughter? I just hope you're proud of your children. You'd best stay home from school for a while, Joe, till things settle.
What's happened to Dad?
He's got into trouble, Joe. A lot of trouble. The police have arrested him for a crime he's admitted to. And that's the straight truth.
just
Not
that
now,
they said.
Joe. Not out here.
They said something about him attacking some girls, Mum. What?
It's true, love. He's done something very wrong and stupid, and now he's got to pay for it. I'll not soften it for you, Joe. That's no good. There's going to be a lot of ugliness.
Why'd he do it?
I don't really know the answer to that.
Doesn't he care for you anymore?
Maybe not. I'll not turn you against your father, Joe. He still loves you, I'm certain.
But will he go to prison?
Others will decide.
What happened to us?
Seems dead set on it, Mum.
You have repeated our intention not to oppose bail.
Spelt it out. Told him if he refuses bail, he'll likely find himself in detention till his trial comes up. But he just doesn't want to know.
If he's held over by the magistrates tomorrow, he'll be stuck in a remand centre 25 miles from here. I don't want that to happen.
Dr. Butler said he'd rather be locked up.
His wife will have to travel all that way to see him. And with a 12-year-old to look after, she'll find visiting pretty prohibitive.
Will he want her to visit him? Will she want to? Seemed fairly antagonistic towards him.
At the moment, yes. But she's a rough time ahead. She may want to talk to him when she's got over the shock, even if she won't have him living at home. Simply to break the isolation she'll be feeling. Try to find some explanation as to why it happened. It won't do her husband any good either, cut off from his family, brooding, shut inside himself.
You're thinking he might try suicide again?
No, we can't ignore the possibility, even though he didn't go through with it before.
We can't keep him here beyond the morning, Mum.
We can house him a couple of days longer, give him a chance to change his mind.
Meantime, what do we tell the magistrates?
Request a 3-day remand to cells, pending further inquiries. 3 days of station muck might help persuade him.
Please.
And you saw no one?
Quick on their feet, whoever. Would you like a drink?
If you've some tomato juice or grapefruit.
There's grapefruit.
Thanks. Contact us as soon as you see or hear anyone hanging about outside. I'll increase our patrols in the area so we can respond quickly if there's any trouble. Sight of a police uniform's usually a strong dissuader.
I'm not so bothered about myself. It's my daughter, Josephine. She's already had a rough time of it at school this afternoon, set on by some other kids.
We could have a quiet word with those concerned, if you like. Possibly talk to the headmaster about the problem.
And land Joe in bad odour with her schoolmates, assuming that is she has any left by now. This came by hand this afternoon. No doubt there'll be others coming in the post.
Can I keep it?
Welcome to it.
Let me have any others you receive. I'll pass them on to CID. It's possible any such correspondence can be identified, known to us for similar activities in the past.
Also, there've been some phone calls. You know, I'm amazed by people. I mean, who is it who does this sort of thing? What do they look like? And don't tell me it takes all sorts.
Has anyone actually threatened you?
No, just abuse. That's only the start. We've not had the press knocking on the door yet.
Oh, they won't come near you. Wouldn't even risk it. Your husband's been charged, so the case is now sub judice. All they can do is publish the basic facts. If the press even so much as phone you, let me know. I'll soon put a stop to it.
Until such time as my husband's convicted. Then it'll be an open house.
They certainly have the right to approach you after the trial. You're not obliged to talk to them, however. Have you seen a doctor, Mrs. Butler?
My husband's my doctor.
Perhaps you should see someone else?
I don't think so. I don't really believe in doctors, you see, not for a troubled mind. I appreciate your coming here, Inspector. Just to talk to someone helps a bit.
Your husband's broken the law, so he'll have to answer for it. But we also have a duty towards you and your daughter. See you're allowed to go about your lives without undue harassment, just like anyone else.
Seems a bit strange, that. You protecting us after locking up my husband.
It's his choice, Mrs. Butler. He could get bail.
Up to him, that. I really couldn't care less.
You realise he'll be remanded and held at a centre some distance from here, unless he exercises his right to bail. He could be away weeks.
What you trying to say?
Just explaining the position.
I won't have him back. That's certain. I'll be gone with Joe anyway from this place just as soon as I can sort things out.
I see.
All I want is to wipe Colin from our lives like he never existed.
Will it be all that simple, Mrs. Butler? After all, Josephine's his daughter as well.
She's better off without his name. Hello? Mrs. Butler speaking. Will you keep that filth to yourself?
Who is this, please?
Maybe you'd better move in here.
You can always arrange with the GPO to have your calls intercepted, you know. The operator will then inquire of each caller which number they're ringing. It won't necessarily prevent the unwanted calls coming through, but it might discourage them.
You know, I'd never have believed it. In one day, 24 hours, things should come to this. What you doing dressed like that, love?
I'm off to school, Mum.
No, Joe, you can't. You know that. I'll phone your teacher and explain.
I'm going.
But, love, it'll be in the local papers today what's happened and your dad and all...
You don't have to take me. I can get the bus. But I'm going just as normal, like any day. Come on, Mum. We'll be late. Will you see Dad today?
I'm not sure, Joe.
You'll go to court this morning. You'll see him there, won't you?
Yes, I don't doubt.
Give him all my love.
Yes.
Will he come home afterwards?
That's not very likely, Joe.
Well, I can go see him sometime. They'll let me, won't they?
We'll work something out. Why are you putting them in there?
To preserve any fingerprints. May not get anywhere, but I'll see these letters are investigated.
I didn't come about them in particular. What I came to find out was this. Should my husband accept bail, can we expect police protection?
So you're now saying you're prepared to have your husband live with you until his case comes to court?
Unless he puts up in a hotel. Hartley's not too well blessed with them, though.
I've increased patrols in your area this morning. We haven't the manpower to station an officer at your house, but we can certainly review the situation should it become necessary.
Then that'll have to do, I suppose.
You're certain you want this, Mrs. Butler? Your husband home? You thought it out?
There's not a lot to think about. Not really. He's my husband. And who have I married? I chose him, and he's my rotten lot. But you don't choose. You just love, and I love him. I can't just stop. Oh, I'd like to run. Take Joe and run from Hartley away from all this mess. But he's really dear to me, and that's the way I feel. It's not the way I want to feel after what he's done, but I can't help that. You can't help who you love. It's not choice. It just happens like red hair. Some of this has got to be my fault. He wouldn't have done that if he'd been happy with me. So I've got to find out why. Put it right, maybe. Best get on with it.
Will you stay in Hartley?
I intend to. I want to take on this town. Well, not that I'd feel different if I were just another housewife. I mean, what kind of a woman would marry such a man? I'd want to know that. But I wouldn't throw bricks, and I wouldn't make phone calls. But I'd want to pass by on the far side of the street.
Mrs. Butler, you must understand what you're taking on. There's a rough time ahead, and the aggro will continue, only worse. More letters, more phone calls, more abuse. We'll do our best to contain it, but we can't be everywhere. The parents of those your husband attacked are likely to be especially vociferous. So, you must understand what you're taking on.
I've lain awake all night thinking about it. I'm not, well, a brave person. I don't exactly relish the prospect. But it's what I want.
Also, remember your husband is in a deeply disturbed state. A lot will be demanded of you in terms of emotional support.
We'll survive. At least do our best to, as long as we hold together. What will he get?
He's committed serious offences. I wouldn't like to anticipate the court's decision.
But meanwhile, he can be bailed.
My sergeant spoke to him again this morning. Your husband still refuses to apply.
Maybe I can persuade him.
Were that to happen, we would ask the court this morning for a 3-week adjournment of his case.
And he could come straight home.
Once the formalities have been completed, certainly.
Will he see me? Have me talk to him?
Let me find out.
Tell him he's quite safe. I won't scratch his eyes out.
No. No, I can't see her. I can't.
Will I tell her that, then? It's your final word.
I just don't understand what she wants with me.
Talk to you. Just talk.
Why?
Because...
Why?
Because she's your wife.
She probably just wants to end things between us.
I don't think so. We've spoken to her. I don't think you'll find her antagonistic.
She's here now?
Yes.
No! I'm sorry, no, I can't see her, I can't. I just can't face her.
She can face you.
I don't see the point. She doesn't have to face me. She can't possibly want to see me, and I certainly don't want to see me. It's over between us. It has to be over now.
I don't think you have anything to fear.
I just don't understand what she wants with me.
It's for her to tell you.
All right. All right. Ask her if she would mind coming in here.
This way. Dr. Butler, your wife is here now. You may have a few minutes together, but the officer will have to remain outside.
Colin. Colin. I want you to come home. Get bail now and come home. We need you there. Jo needs you. She's got more guts than both of us, but she still needs you.
Next on Drama, we catch up with London's finest police. The good folk of Sun Hill are on the beat. In the Bill.
I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday. And I hope that you're going to enjoy the next record I'm going to play for you.
Come in.
Oh, hello, Kate.
I was just passing on my way to work and I wanted to ask you, did you know if the plumber in the next street... Oh, it's not convenient. I can...
No, really, of course, it's all right. This is Ellie.
Oh. Hello, Ellie. How'd you do?
Kate's a policewoman. It's half term, so Ellie comes in, give me a hand.
Oh, good. How's the ankle?
Yeah, thanks, yeah.
And I wanted to ask you if you could help us about a lad who, But I'm a bit late, actually, so I'll pop by some other time.
Yeah,
all right?
of course, yes.
Cheerio for now, then, Ellie.
It's a bit rude, Ellie.
Who was she?
Just a friend.
Are you going to marry her?
Come on, Ellie.
Arsenal? Well, Arsenal, best team in Europe. Arsenal? Well, have you ever seen them play?
Look, mate, because you're in uniform, you think you know everything, don't you?
That girl, that woman, did you see which way she went?
What girl? What woman?
You know, high heels, pushed her.
Well, I'll talk to you again. I knew there must be some, but I've never met one before.
Hey, you. Just a minute.
What do you mean, just a minute? Who do you think you are?
I know who I am, and I know who you are, and I know what you are.
All right, all right. What's all this, then?
You've been pinching things from my store.
What?
All right. Right. Now then. Right.
What? No crime?
Ollie. Hello, love. How are you?
Not too good, love. Lost me home and everything.
Dear.
Is Janet in?
No, she's at court. She won't be long, though. Do you want to wait?
I'll have to, love. Don't know where else to go.
Oh. Have a look at the newspaper.
Would you like to remove the kiddie so I can have a proper look?
No, I wouldn't. And see what happens if you are 1 hair of his head.
Right, son. Let's just watch up a little bit, shall we?
No.
Yes, go on, let's just have a quick look.
No.
No, yes, we... Oh,
No. No.
afraid so.
No. No. No.
Is there anything else in there?
No.
Is there?
Yeah, just got to have one more little look, all right?
No.
Yeah, come on, you don't mind. Let me just have a little look. That's it. There we go. Nothing else I can tell straight off.
Oh, no, she didn't steal anything. Oh, no.
Are both these from your store, sir?
Yes, they've got our price tickets, some.
Did you pay for them?
No.
Can you explain how they came to be where they were in the pushchair?
No, I can't.
You were sure to be prosecuted for taking them without paying for them, sir.
Yes, it's the store's policy, and she took them without paying for them.
Constable.
You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so. But what you say may be put into writing and given in evidence. Could I have your name and address, please?
Get lost.
Say I can't speak at the moment, will you? Thanks.
You've got nice legs.
Thank you, Ollie. Those aren't bad either. Mr. Vincent of Vincent Manufacturing is looking for a temporary storekeeper. No objection to someone who's been in a bit of trouble. Bit of an understatement as far as you're concerned, but do you want to go and see him?
Couldn't he be a dodgy character?
Oh, not only could be, he is. He's a magistrate.
Gordon Bennett, me work for a magistrate? But, I mean, I've got problems, haven't I? I mean, I've been in and out of Nick so often, I've got no work pattern.
People can change, Ollie.
Once a villain, always a villain, I say. Yeah, why don't you send me to a psychiatrist?
What? And give him a nervous breakdown?
I thought your probation officer was supposed to advise, assist and befriend you.
You're not on probation, you're on parole. And heaven help me, I've been made your supervisor.
I might surprise you.
And I might surprise you too, Ollie, if you don't make some effort and try and find a job.
You're doing yourself no good, you know, are you? Look, anyone you like, solicitor, friend, your husband, just give us a name and we'll get onto them and ask them to come along. Oh, don't be so daft. At least give us your name and address and then you can go home.
Which one are you? The nice one?
No, I'm the nasty one, love. Would you like to see the nice one? Do you think you might talk to him?
Get lost.
25p for a raffle ticket? What sort of money do you think I've got to throw around, Arnold? I've got a chest freezer. What would I want with a set of electric air curlers? No, I'm sorry, Arnold. Not in the present economic climate.
Is the boss coming yet?
No.
Sergeant Parrish getting anywhere?
You haven't come out yet, so I presume not. You're a Liberal, Brian.
Me? Certainly not.
Arnold's trying to flog raffle tickets for the local Liberals. How about you?
Not me, Sarge. I'm ecology.
Ecology?
Yeah. Well, when we were at school, we used to have this tortoise.
Morning.
Morning, ma'am.
Nice one.
Have any of you had anything to do with a plumber called Grimethorpe?
What, the one who plays in the colliery band?
No, I've never heard of him. Anybody else?
Oh, no, Sarge.
Wanted, is he?
In some respects, somewhat.
Excuse me. Could I have a quick word, please, ma'am?
Hey, Bri. Ask her if she wants any raffle tickets.
Is she a Liberal?
Well, she might be. A lot of people are changing. What's it got to do with tortoises?
Who is it?
Mrs. Phillips, 872873.
Yes, second read.
My probation officer.
Don't waste the time. It'll only... Well, we'll check it.
Get lost.
Uh-huh. Thank you for putting me in the picture. How about this gravel pit business? How are you getting on with that?
I'm afraid there's no progress so far.
Keep trying.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, what about this missing boy, Andrew Chadwick?
Oh, his mother's going potty.
I dropped in at the youth club on my way, and I thought John Holder might possibly be able to give us a lead.
Any use?
Didn't actually get a chance to speak to him. He was, tied up. I will, though. Yes, come in. George.
Sorry to interrupt, Mum. She says that's a probation officer, but I don't know the name. So...
Private, is it?
No, sorry, Mum. We've got a young woman in the interview room that Brian brought in early for shoplifting. She's no identification or anything, and she won't give us her name and address.
What's the probation officer's name she's given you?
Mrs. Phillips.
Oh, yes. Slim, fair-haired, about 30. I've seen her in court. Well, I shouldn't hurry if she's being unhelpful. Let her stew.
Well, she's got a young baby in a pushchair.
Well, then, let them both stew. I suppose you've been giving her cups of tea.
Anyway, the probation office isn't this number, 872873. The probation office says...
Some of them have their own private lines. Try it. It's just routine, George. Why are you being so... Oh, very pretty, is she?
No, I wouldn't say she was particularly pretty. Not particularly. Would you, Brian?
No, not particularly, Sergeant.
There's a smashing fish and chip shop down the road. Do you fancy fish and chips for your lunch? In about half an hour. Mrs. Rawlings said you could play with Linda this afternoon. Do you want that?
Yeah, the suspect's name's Jeremy Alexander. He often causes this sort of harm. Anyway, doctor will be with him soon. He'll soon have him sedated. Oh, yeah.
I want that number and I can't get it. You try it for me, will you? If you can't either, get onto the operator and complain.
Certainly, ma'am. We want that number and we can't get it. You try. If you can't get it either, get onto the operator and complain.
All right. Come on. What's your name? We're busy. We've got a lot of other things to do. You mess us about, you're the one who'll suffer for it. You've given us a name. Someone you want us to ring. A probation officer, right? Well, we're not going to till you've told us some more. For a start, it's Maggie Drew that was, isn't it? How old were you when I knew you in Upper Shaw? 15? So you'd be what now? 23? 24? And a baby, too. That's nice.
Get lost.
We did you and two of your school friends for knocking an old lady over and snatching her handbag. They were called Anne Marley and Susan Miller, was it?
Mella.
Mella. A right trio you were. So, who are you now, then? Maggie what?
Norman.
Maggie Norman. How many convictions since? 3? Or is it 4? Change of name, but same old game, eh? Still thieving.
No, I'm not!
Save it for court, love. Right.
Yeah, well, thanks for trying, operator. Thanks, bye. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, son. Joe Beckwell, George Parrish here.
Well, it isn't Hartley's one-man crime wave. Good afternoon, Oliver. Remember his face?
I wish to report a car that's gone.
Aren't you supposed to be in strange ways?
Oh, not heard of parole yet in Hartley, then.
Well, I knew the prisons were overcrowded, but I didn't know it was that bad.
I want to report a car that's gone missing.
Well, if you didn't, our Ollie. Did I hear right from a little bird the other day that you got parole?
Well?
You had parole from your previous sentence and you broke it.
Ronnie Mason, do you know him?
What about him?
He's disappeared with my motor.
You've got a motor?
Well, strictly speaking, it's his birds I've got a situation with. But I do have the unrestricted use of it.
Have you got a driving licence?
Oh, I hope you don't get like this, son.
If it's your lady friends, why isn't she reporting it?
You don't know it's gone yet.
Well, how do you know it's gone yet?
He's always driving it. Parked it when I went to see someone, come back just in time to see it disappearing in the distance with Ronnie Mason driving it.
And you locked it?
Oh, he's got a spare key.
She used to be Ronnie Mason's lady friend.
Brilliant. Look, if I don't get it back soon, she's going to think it was me that nicked it.
You see the subtlety of the criminal mind. Flog it, then round to the police station, report it stolen before it's found out.
I haven't stole it. It was nicked from outside our office when I was with my probation lady.
You with a probation officer? Why, what you done?
Son, I've got worries, I've got troubles. I've got no job, I've got no home, and I've got no friends. And this shower, they treat me like I was dirt. I'm trying to go straight, son, do you know that? I'm genuinely trying to go straight. But do you know what I ask myself?
Is it worth it?
Yeah, well, I'm glad someone's got some sensitivity.
Aren't you lovely, eh? Aren't you lovely? Where's your mum?
Nearly all day I've been there. And one cup of tea. Well, I mean, that's it, though, now, isn't it? If you're on probation and they do you for something else, it's prison.
Maggie, how did those things get into Timmy's pushchair?
I don't know. You don't believe me, do you?
What I believe is neither here nor there.
Do you?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I do. You've always been honest with me about everything, Maggie, and until the first time you're not.
The law don't. The court won't. They'll take Timmy off me, won't they?
Not necessarily.
Oh, a foster mother, going to prison, and just left the bloke she were living with.
Is the breakup with Harry final?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, every fella I ever take up with after a couple of months...
It won't be long before there's someone else.
No, that's it. I mean, they all just want one thing, don't they, men? And I don't know what it is, but I don't like it, really. I mean, I do my best to pretend, but I wish I wasn't pretty. They're never going to let me adopt Timmy now, are they?
Maggie, I'm not giving up. It's far too early to say what'll happen yet. I'm going to make some inquiries. I'm going to follow up a few contacts. There's quite a chance I might get your probation continued.
The law have really got it in for me.
Why should they have?
Do you know her?
Who? The woman in charge, Inspector Longton. No, not really. I haven't had much to do with her.
She's got a long memory.
Convenient.
Yeah, come on in. I'm a cold chip.
Thanks. Posh? My day it was newspaper.
Yeah, well, it's new management. Chinese. But I think
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's a lad who's missing. He's 14, red-haired, very tall. We think he came to the youth club a couple of times around Christmas. I wondered if you remembered him.
Andrew Chadwick.
Oh, good. Great. Look, I know it wasn't a good time when I came last time.
No, it's all right now. Ellie's gone to see a friend of hers she sometimes plays with. She's a bit shy, and perhaps the uniform, you know.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
Member, is she?
What?
Ellie, is she a member of the youth club?
No. She's a relative, yeah.
Oh. Oh, nice little girl.
Yeah, nice.
Anyway, could I ask you something else?
Yeah, what?
This lad, Andrew Chadwick, was he ever a club member? I mean, do you recall any of his friends?
No, not really. He didn't come very often. Why?
He's missing. Look, would you tell me if you did have the information?
Well, it would depend.
On?
On what you wanted to know. Come on, Kate. You know I don't tell tales to the police.
Tell tales? A boy missing from home?
You didn't say that, did you? You said he was missing. As if he was wanted for something, yeah?
And if he was?
Well, I'd have to think about it. Come on, Kate. You know I don't automatically give information to the police. I've spent 5 years in the probation service.
Yeah. Well, at least that's honest.
Well, look, there is something I'd like to talk to you about, actually. About something else. Well, perhaps now isn't the right time. It'll keep.
Yeah. Well, see you, John.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, is that Mr. Grimethorpe? Oh, it's Hartley Police here. We've been trying to contact you. Just a minute, please. What do we want him for?
How should I know? Why don't you ask him what he's done?
Mr. Grimethorpe.
We've just at last got that number you wanted, man.
What? That number? Oh, Joe, you're a genius. Put it through.
Hold on a moment, sir.
It only took me 8 tries.
Yeah, well, that's what police work's all about, isn't it? Unsung heroes, dogged determination. Remember when I was your age, they used to call me the Hound of Hartley. Quiet Hound of Hartley.
Yes, Sarge. Woof, woof.
Yes, Mr. Grimethorpe, I dare say it shouldn't do that, but the fact remains that it's done it. Mr. Grimethorpe, I can't wait until next Tuesday. Mr. Grimethorpe, I'm not throwing my weight about because I'm a police inspector. I'm merely asking for satisfaction, just like any other customer who's had a new boiler installed. Suffering cats. Yes? Oh, sorry. Who? Oh, well, show him in.
Thank you. Hope you don't mind. I had to come this way to go and get Ellie, so...
No, I'm glad you came.
I'm sorry I wasn't more helpful earlier. About this lad, Andrew Chadwick, I don't know a lot, but...
Are you sure this isn't a breach of the Official Secrets Act?
Yeah, okay. He hasn't been to the club for about, 6 months. I believe he's gone to Scotland, but I don't know where.
Not much to get our teeth into there, then.
No, I thought it might save us some trouble.
Thanks.
I'm sorry. I'm often under a bit of strain at half-term. She's my daughter,
What?
Ellie. She comes and stays with me a couple of days when she's got a holiday.
Oh. Well, nice.
Her mother and I were separated 3 years ago.
I'm sorry.
She lives with her in London.
Is that your only... I mean...
Yeah, just the one, yeah. And it's hard on her.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I do want to speak to him. Could you ask him to hold a minute, please?
Anyway, she'll be waiting for me, so I'd better go.
Thanks for coming in and telling me about Andrew Chadwick. Yes, put him through. Yes, Mr. Grimethorpe.
came in through the front of the store, did you, Mrs. Phipps, through the swing doors?
Yes.
And you saw the notice that's affixed to each individual door, every single one.
Oh, if you mean the one
We
about...
always prosecute in every case of theft.
Yes, I know that's the usual procedure, Mr. Thompson.
Not the usual procedure, Mrs. Phipps, the invariable procedure.
I'm sure, but there's surely occasions when...
If I was in my office, I could show it you in the management manual. Page 33.
Does it say anything in there about individual case merits?
Merits? What merits are there in stealing?
In this particular instance, some considerable doubt as to whether the young woman did actually steal or not.
Yes, well, I was there when the items were recovered at the police station from the child's pushchair.
She says she's no idea how they got there. They must have fallen into it.
What, 2 separate items from 2 different counters, 40 feet apart?
For a number of circumstances, which at this stage I can't tell you about, I think she deserves the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, well, doubtless, if there is any benefit of any doubt, she'll get it. I've quite a lot of experience of the leniency of the courts.
Mr. Thompson, would you be very offended if I were to go over your head and take this matter up with your head office?
Thomas.
Sorry, Mr. Thomas.
No, well, it's up to you, of course. They have a good record of supporting their own manager.
I'm sure. Well, thank you very much for seeing me, Mr. Thomas. Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Phipps.
Phillips.
Sorry?
Good morning.
Oh, saloon, yeah.
Registration number Sierra Bravo.
Thanks for coming in, Mr. Thomas.
Well, I'll leave it with you, then.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you spare a minute, Joe?
Certainly, ma'am. Finished checking that, have you?
Yep.
Do you know that man?
Yeah, he's the supermarket manager, that business with the young woman the other day.
Maggie Norman. And she got us to get in touch with their probation officer, Mrs. Phillips, wasn't it?
That's correct, ma'am, yes.
Do you know her? Mrs. Phillips.
Well, I wouldn't say I know her personally.
What's she like? Do you know?
Like most probation officers, I should imagine.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's what you might call a personal reservation, ma'am.
You don't think much of them?
Oh, on the contrary, many of them do some very good work indeed.
So long as they don't interfere with our work.
I didn't say that, ma'am.
I'm not so sure your Mrs. Phillips isn't trying to do just that. She's been to see the supermarket manager to try and get him not to prosecute. When he wouldn't agree, she said she'd take it up with his superiors.
Well, I expect she knows just how far she's entitled to go.
Why should anyone do that for Maggie Drew? Or Maggie Norman, as she is now. I knew her before I came here, a while back. She's a young tearaway. And not averse to a bit of violence, either.
Well, maybe she's got hidden depths we don't know about.
Just because she's pretty, people let her get away with murder.
In looks, she reminds me of my own daughter a bit, in a way.
I didn't know you were married, Joe.
At one time I was, ma'am.
Yes. Well, thank you, Joe.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, morning, Arnold. No, I'm sorry, I'm not the Liberal. No, I'd say I was more Workers' Revolutionary Party than anything. Yeah, sorry. Cheers. Oh, morning, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
Is Joe back in today yet?
Yeah. Morning, Mom.
Morning, Mum.
This so-called plumber called Grimethorpe, I want his description circulated. Every time he parks his car, I want it towed away. His house is to be raided twice a week and is to be brought in for questioning every Saturday night.
Has he done something to upset you, Mum?
Oh, no. Whatever gives you that idea? 11:30 last night he came round to fix my boiler. He said it was the only time I could do it this week.
Sounds very obliging, Mum.
3 o'clock this morning I had to get up because the house was full of poisonous smoke and the fire alarm went off. We'll get onto criminal records, see what they can dig up on him.
Was that the boss come in?
It was.
Did you give her the message?
What message?
From Jack Rogers. I only need to go for a riddle and everything falls apart.
Keen, you know, Sergeant Beck.
Morning, ma'am. Night on the tiles, was it? I just thought you'd like to know I had a telephone call from Jack Rogers this morning.
Jack Rogers?
Magistrate's clerk, ma'am.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I'm not quite with it, Joe. What about?
A recent visitor to the chairman of the magistrates, Mr. Vincent.
Joe, I've had a bad night, please.
Our mutual probation officer friend we were talking about yesterday, Mrs. Phillips. She's been to see him about that shoplifting case.
Maggie Norman?
Yeah, she's due to come
She's
up.
what? She's tried to get onto the chairman of the magistrates before the case is even heard.
She's not trying to, ma'am. She already has.
Good grief. Well, I'll... So, who's next?
So, what made you decide to change?
From the probation service? Oh, a lot of things happening all at the same time. Found myself getting bogged down in the administration, spending far too much time on committees, hardly seeing a client from one week to the next. And my personal life was getting bogged down as well. So I just sat down and I asked myself what I most wanted to do. And the answer was simple. Get involved with young people. So when they offered me this job, I took it.
More money?
About the same. Less security.
Regrets?
Not so far, no. Anyway, about this girl who's up on a shoplifting charge, tell me more.
Maggie's been successfully fostering a child for nearly a year now, and she hopes eventually to adopt it. Up until about 3 years ago, she was always in and out of trouble, but since she's been on probation, she's really made an effort and kept straight. She's got a flat, but no job because she's looking after the baby. The chairman of the local magistrate said it might help if the police didn't go too heavy on her past.
Do you think they might?
This new woman has recently taken over. She knows Maggie from somewhere and is one of those don't tell me about villains I know all about in school. And since you said on the phone you knew her, I was wondering
I only know her a bit. I only know her a bit.
Is she like that? Can you tell?
Well, funnily enough, now's your chance to find out.
Oh. Sorry.
No need to be. This is Janet Phillips, one of the senior probation officers, Inspector Kate Longton.
How'd you do?
We were just talking about you.
Your name's come up where I work, too. We've got a mutual acquaintance, I think. Maggie Drew. Oh, that used to be a name. I think it's Maggie Norman now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Would you like some coffee?
No, thank you. I only dropped in to give you this. There's an exhibition of Victorian toys at Central Hall. I thought Ellie might be interested.
Oh, that's kind. Thank you. What a pity she's gone back to London. She went yesterday.
I see. Yes, well, never mind.
I've been meaning to come and introduce myself to you.
Oh, good. I look forward to that.
I hope we had a not too bad relationship with your predecessor.
Perhaps one day we might have the same.
Well, I better get on.
Yeah, okay, Janet. Thanks for dropping in.
Nice to have met you, Inspector.
And you.
See you, thanks.
You sure you want to have some coffee?
Yes, thank you. I didn't know you two knew each other. She a good friend?
No, we've not met before.
A not too bad relationship.
I gather you don't care for her.
I don't care for her methods.
She's got someone on probation who's being charged with shoplifting, hasn't she?
Oh, I see. Of course she's told you. First she tries to nobble the shop manager she stole from. Then the chairman of the magistrates, and now you. She'll be trying me next. What?
I think she was hoping I would.
Of all the... Listen, you used to be a probation officer. Is this how you used to carry on?
Well, it's not unique. If you feel strongly that someone deserves a chance.
A chance? This girl, this woman. When she was 15, she and her mates knocked an old lady over and snatched her handbag.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, mm-hmm? Is that nothing?
That was when she was 15.
She's gone on from there. She's got 3 or 4 more convictions for thieving since.
But she's been going straight now for nearly 3 years.
Oh, she has been filling you in, hasn't she? You wet liberals, you're all the same.
And you fascist pig coppers are all the same, too.
Oh, that's charming, thanks.
Look, Kate, all I'm saying is don't generalize. You do your job, she does hers. You believe in what you're doing, she believes in what she's doing. Now, if that means that you've got to regard each other as antagonists, well, I think that's a pity, because you and she have got more in common than you think.
Thanks for the lecture.
Oh, come on, Kate. Have a cup of coffee.
Oh, don't keep asking me that. I don't like coffee. I only drink tea without milk.
She shouldn't be too long.
All right, darling, no problem. Nice kid. Ooh, look at that. Hey, look. See that? Overhead cam, twin carb, dual injection. Had one myself once. I did. Hey, love motors, you know. Can't keep my hands off them. Got to try and learn, though. That's what the judge says. Your little brother, is it?
Get lost.
This girl, Maggie Norman, you ever seen her?
No.
You'd fall for her too. She'd make your head spin.
She? Why?
She's quite a stunner.
That can be a burden sometimes, can't it?
What, being very pretty? That's what my sister always used to say. I used to think, I wish I had your problem. She very pretty.
My wife? Oh, yes. She never had any difficulty getting admirers.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't pry.
It's all right, you're a policewoman. Oh, I'm sorry. Thoughtless.
Get used to it.
Have you ever been married?
No. Mr. Wright's not come along yet.
The great things cliched, aren't they?
It's true. It's not the time for a life story. I must go. Thanks for the tea.
Yeah. Next time I'll remember not to keep asking you if you want a coffee.
Do you think we'll have a not too bad relationship?
I hope. Hey, give her a chance, will you?
Maggie Norman?
No, Janet Phillips.
Yeah, I might just do that.
Won't you sit down?
Thanks. I've not got long, though. So, well, am I the last?
Sorry?
The Save Maggie Norman appeal. The shop manager, the chairman of the magistrates, John Holden at the youth club. I'm quite impressed.
Inspector, I'm not going to apologise. I've put in far too much effort with Maggie Norman in the last 3 years.
Worth it, was she?
I don't accept she's guilty. And if she is, I still think she deserves another chance.
I have to be honest, Mrs. Phillips. I don't understand people like you.
That's a problem for both of us, because I don't understand you either.
How can someone waste their time on someone like her?
She happens to have some very worthwhile qualities, in my opinion.
Tell me one.
All right. Single-handed, in the last year, she has been an excellent foster mother to 2 different children in care. Recently, one has gone back at last to its own mother. The other, if she still has it in 6 months' time, Maggie's hoping to adopt it.
A thief?
I don't believe she is a thief. Not now. Oh, she was. But never a very brilliant one. Yes, I know she and some friends once knocked down an old lady. That was one of the first things she ever told me. But that was 8 years ago. And I'll tell you something else. Since she took those children on, she's never been out at night. She's stayed in every single night for a whole year to take care of them. And she lives on Social Security to do it.
Well, it sounds as if perhaps she might be changing a bit, doesn't it?
Yes, Inspector. I think perhaps it does. Excuse me. Janet Phillips. Oh, hello, love. Look, I'm a bit tied up. Can I ring you back? What? Hey, great. Wonderful. Look, I'll ring you back later, okay? Bye. Oh, sorry. We had a burst water pipe at home. Could we find a plumber? My husband's discovered one who not only said he'd be round in an hour, actually was. Anyway, I'm genuinely sorry that the first time we make contact, we get across each other. But I do feel very deeply that Maggie Norman is still worth going to a lot of trouble for. And I'm going to continue to do it.
Well, perhaps I've got some catching up to do. I'll check her record, and if it's as you say... So, let's leave it like that for the moment, shall we?
She's bound to be found guilty. I don't see how it can be avoided. But I do want to try and get her kept on probation.
Did your husband by any chance tell you his name? Or if he didn't, could you let me know?
It's the people I like. You meet such funny people. Arsenal supporters, Norwich supporters, members of the SDP.
It's the people I don't like. I just want to get on with my work and stop being bothered about crime all the time.
I never wanted to be in the force myself. I wanted to be an acrobat in a circus. That or a lighthouse keeper.
Give us a couple of blondes, a well-stacked redhead. We'd have a British Dallas.
Do you know what she did? She took things off the shelves and put them in a woman's pram.
I have done this several times before. The last time was last week with a young woman who had a pushchair with a toddler in it. Is that right? I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
In the contemporary society we live in, wealth is unfairly distributed. The poor have insufficient to live on, and when I see a woman and child who are poor...
Look, listen, madam,
get on with it, put it down, or I'll box your ears for you, you cheeky young monkey.
The last time was last week with a young woman who had a pushchair with a toddler in it. In the contemporary society we live in, wealth is unfairly...
The rest isn't strictly relevant at this stage, ma'am.
I'm relieved to hear it. Well, has Maggie Norman been told?
Yes, ma'am, Brian's gone to tell her.
What about the probation office? Has anyone phoned the probation office?
Not yet.